Emma and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be filming a period video with my mum.
Hi guys.
And there's also going to be a bit of a period Q&A at the end.
So if you're not comfortable with the subject of periods, maybe you're a little bit younger, you might either want to watch with a parent or come back another time when you are comfortable.
Yeah. But don't worry, because a what's in my bag will be the next video that I film.
So we're hoping this video is going to give some of you guys some reassurance, because Emma received literally, actually I think it was near 1,000 messages.
Yeah, so thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate it.
We're hoping we're going to be able to answer some of your questions, but we aren't medical experts. So if you do have any issues or anything you're really worried about, please make sure you seek advice from parent or carer after this video.
So we're first going to tell you some facts, and then we're also going to do a little period Q&A, and then we're going to tell you my first period story. I'm a bit scared. Okay guys, over to my mum for that one.
Okay, so to put it completely simply, a period is where you bleed from your vagina for a few days a month.
Part of a woman's menstrual cycle, and that's when your ovaries release one egg.
Your body releases it in the form of a period to get rid of it, basically.
But if you're pregnant, the egg turns into a baby, so obviously you don't get a period, and that's why women don't get their periods when they're pregnant.
Most women have a period every 28 days, but this can vary a lot, anything from sort of 21 to 40 days.
But when your first period starts, it will be very irregular. But for some people it isn't, but for most it is.
So the colour of your blood can vary quite a lot in your period.
And the colours range from red to pink to brown. Periods can last between 3 to 8 days.
They usually last about 5, and the first 2 days of your period are usually the heaviest. So you actually don't lose as much as you might think. We did have a few questions, being really worried about the amount of blood. Will it go sort of all down my legs when I start my period? That is just not the case. On average, a woman loses 5 to 10 teaspoons of blood during her whole period.
So we're going to show you right now.
So that is it, guys. I don't know if you can see that. That is all on average you're going to lose. So it's not as scary as you think it might be. Emma, stop drinking the water. So if you saw Emma's period kit video, you would have seen all the different types of sanitary pads that she likes to use.
And we've also got some Tampax tampons. So when you first start your period, you're probably going to want to use pads like me, because else it might be a little bit daunting going straight in with some tampons. So these are the daytime.
And this is the nighttime.
So as you can see, there's definitely a size difference.
And you just tear off the little sticky on there.
So what you do is you just tear off this little pink bit or this little sticky bit here, and then you open it up like so. This isn't too noisy, this paper, which is a question we'll get to later on. And then you just pull it off, and there you've got the sticky bit which has to stick on your knickers. And on that side you take that one off, and then you've got your wings which have also got a sticky bit on them, and that bit you stick around the bottom of your knickers. Do you want to, should we just demonstrate that? We're going to just show you how to put them into your pants. So we're going to take the daytime one. So what you do is you get the bottom of your knickers and you place the sticky long part here, and make sure you push it down so it stays. And then you flap these wings around the back. But remember, not all pads have wings, but if I was you, I'd try to buy ones that have wings because they're more like secure.
And that's it.
Yeah, it's very simple.
And then you've got the clear difference between your nighttime pad, which is a lot bigger because you're going to be keeping it on for longer, and your daytime one, which is smaller.
But some people like to wear nighttime ones during the day if they have a heavier flow.
Okay, and then you've got the tampons, and I will just show you those as well. And you get 2 different types. You either have an applicator or a non-applicator. I use tampons, and I always use the ones with an applicator, but you just find out whichever you prefer. So you just rip it open, and then you pull this bit out until you hear that click. The tampon sits inside.
You've got the string that's attached to it really securely. You're not going to lose this inside yourself, so don't worry about that, because that is something people are concerned about. And then you just insert it in yourself. Just insert it in yourself, and then you push, and then you pull that out. So that's then left inside you to soak up the period. So you do get a leaflet inside that gives you a little diagram of how to use tampons. So I definitely used that when I was younger. And you want to keep them in for about 6 hours, no more than 8, because there are issues. There is something called toxic shock syndrome, which you can possibly get if you leave it in longer than that. So just be a bit careful about how long you leave your tampons in for.
But you can always take it out if you feel like you want to and change it for a new one.
Yeah, and with pads you want to be changing them about every 4 hours.
Yeah, I change mine in the morning, then lunchtime and nighttime. If you want to change it anytime between that, that's also fine. I'm sweating.
Did you want a little demonstration?
Boom!
And just on the subject of the tampon getting lost, because we did get loads of questions about that.
Yeah.
It can't go anywhere. There is a hole at the top for your cervix, but it's far too small. You won't get it lost. It's fine.
So you can also get something which is called a period pants, which you can wear as a sanitary towel, except it's just a pair of pants, but you rewash them after you've used them, and then you can reuse them again.
You can also get a menstrual cup that you pop inside yourself, fills up with the blood, and then you empty it, clean it, and pop it back inside. Both of these are really environmentally friendly,
yes, but
have to admit, haven't tried either of them.
It is a bit scary, isn't it? That one, because it's quite big.
Maybe it's not something you would use when you're younger.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking.
I'm definitely recommend pads.
PMS is premenstrual syndrome and PMT is premenstrual tension. So these are symptoms that you can get before your period starts, and some of those symptoms are
bloated stomach, irritability and mood swings.
You can also get spotty skin, greasy hair, sore boobs, and actually just feeling really hungry, which is one that I definitely get a week before my period.
Yeah.
So discharge, and yeah, I know, it's a horrible word. Nobody likes it. You shouldn't be embarrassed about anything to do with periods, but nobody likes that word. But anyway, it's important because all girls get it. So it's a natural fluid that's actually there to protect you from infection. It can vary in colour. It can be clear, white or yellow.
So near your period you may see it as pink or brown, which is also known as spotting. That's why I've also got these, which are liners in my hand, which you can wear any time of the month for discharge. So this is what they look like. So they're the exact same as a pad, except from they're a lot thinner and a lot smaller. So these are so comfortable, by the way. I don't even know they're in half the time. But as you can see, they're very thin. Also guys, as you can tell between brands, they definitely look a lot different.
Just one thing on the discharger though, is there to keep you healthy and stop you from getting infections. If you notice a change in it, the colour, the texture, if you got itchy or anything like that, it might be a sign of something funny going on, but usually nothing serious, so just make sure you mention it to a parent.
Start your period around 2 years after puberty.
I'm sure most of you know that's when you start growing boobs and pubic hair. Okay, so the average ages for actually starting your period are between 11 and 15.
But if you get it at 9 or 10 or 11, that's very normal also. If you still haven't gotten your period by the age of 16, either talk to a parent or go see a doctor.
But that could still be completely normal. Most people are having regular periods by age 18. It may just be that you're taking a little bit longer to get to it. So don't panic, it might just be worth having that chat. And one of the reasons there might be a delay is it might run in families, so your mum and your sister may also have been quite late. I was actually 13 and Emma was 12, so quite similar there, and you will usually find that you'll be similar to your mum, so it'd be fun to have a conversation with her to find out when she started.
Yeah.
So your periods completely stop when you go through the menopause.
And the average age in the UK is around 51. So this happens when your womb contracts and pushes out the blood.
Cramps are completely normal and normally happen at the heaviest part of your period, usually in the first couple of days. They can just be mild, slightly uncomfortable, or they can be quite painful. Mine are actually quite painful, so I do tend to take pain relief, but it is manageable and it does only last a couple of days.
So guys, we've just shut the curtain because it is getting dark outside. But anyhow, you can get cramps all over your stomach and going into your back. But if you are getting really like bad cramps and it's like really hard to manage, then you can take pain relief.
Yeah, so you can either take normal paracetamol, or you can take period tablets, as Emma explained in her period kit. Obviously, if you are taking tablets, just make sure there's a parent or carer knows what you're doing with that.
And also a hot water bottle is such a good way to relieve cramps. Definitely. And also getting into a hot bath. I've heard that can help really well.
Love to have a hot bath.
But I know that some people might want a hot water bottle in school. So I don't know if anyone's come up with this idea before, and I was going to put it in my period kit, but I forgot. You can use a hand warmer because no one will be able to see because they're very small anyway. So this is just a hand warmer. Basically, you just boil it. If you've already used it, you pop a little popper and it heats up like a hot water bottle.
It is a mini hot water bottle, this one.
But
That's too cute.
But you can get tons of different like shapes and sizes and colours and
honestly,
all of that.
That's actually such a good idea. I'd never thought of that before.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
and they do get really hot as well, so it's really good for school because no one will know.
A lot of people are asking actually, how do you deal with pain relief at school, and that is a brilliant tip.
Because you can just put it under into your like jeans or your skirt.
Also, just doing some light exercise or going for a walk can quite often help with the period, just getting out and getting some fresh air and take your mind off it. But then if you're just having a day where you want to curl up on a ball on a sofa with a hot water bottle and eat chocolate, that is perfectly fine as well. Just do whatever you need to do to feel better.
I mean, I don't get very bad cramps, but that sounds like a good idea every day. So that's all the period facts done, but now let's move on to my... So guys, it's time for the period story. I'm not even gonna lie, I'm kind of nervous.
It's not that bad.
It isn't even bad because obviously I was at home anyway because of corona. So one of the first signs was a discharge, and that happened around year 5. So again, when we said about puberty 2 years before your period, that is very accurate, but it can be longer or shorter depending on your body. Obviously started to grow. In all different ways I started to grow in year 5. But I wasn't very tall though, so...
So they were the first signs, weren't they?
Yeah.
When did you... Was it like a couple months before your period started? Did you notice any different changes with your body?
Oh, like in year 6, I remember getting like tons of pimples on my forehead and then they magically disappeared. And now I've been getting like only a couple spots.
For about 6 months before your period started, actually, and we haven't touched on this here, but you were getting sort of a bit dizzy spells, not feeling quite right.
Yeah, I was like very lightheaded, and I don't know if this was anything to do with it, but we talked to a doctor about it. She did mention, this was before my period started, she said it could be anemia, is that what you call it?
Anemia.
Anemia, but it could also be something to do with my period.
The fact she did ask if you had started your period and you hadn't at that time.
Yeah,
now it all makes sense.
Yeah.
It was all to do with that.
And I'm not as dizzy as I was, and I'm not as lightheaded as I was, and I kept having really like low blood sugar, which I don't get like hardly at all anymore, which is good.
I actually think that was just all your hormones, because you've got so many hormones going on in your body when your period starts. I just think it was all a bit too much maybe, and that was what was making you feel funny.
I felt really tired and like everything.
Really tired, definitely. That was definitely a telltale sign, I think. When did we talk about periods for the first time, me and you?
I think it was in year 5.
But why? Can you remember why we actually talked about it? It was a bit of a weird situation that I brought it up, but it kind of made sense at the time.
No, I can actually.
Okay, so our dog Chloe...
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Our dog Chloe had her first heat, which is basically like a dog having a period. And I wanted to try and explain to Emma what it was, and it just made perfect sense to me at her age that I could kind of tie it into, oh, this is actually going to kind of happen to you in a couple years time. Yeah,
bear in mind, I had no clue in year 5. I knew I knew that it happened, but I didn't know why or anything like that.
Yeah, so we just had it was a real basic conversation about it. It just gave
like
you an idea, and I said, oh, you will bleed from down there at some point, but it's nothing to be scared of. So that was the first time.
Yeah, and then in year 6, we like did the whole conversation where like how it happened and all of that, which also, it might be in year 6, year 7 or year 8, but you'll do sex education, which they also do a whole thing on periods as well, which they did in year 6 in my school, but some schools do it in year 7.
So you already kind of knew it was happening. Obviously, I've always been quite open with you about
tampons and pads and stuff. You've always seen it, haven't you, in the room?
And sometimes like Mum used to ask me to go get some, didn't you?
Go
when
get
you're
some.
in the toilet, you'd be like, go get me a tampon.
I probably would say that, actually.
She did.
I mean, yeah, we've always been quite open about it, but I appreciate not all families are, so this is just our experience, and don't feel that your experience needs to be the same as this, because I appreciate not everybody's is.
And also, if you're scared to tell your mum, then it's probably also your mum was scared to tell her mum as well, maybe.
Yeah.
Because loads of people are scared about it, but I mean...
We'll touch on that a little bit later on as well. Okay, the day.
Okay, so this was in like late June, and my mum was at work that day, which I mean was so annoying because the next day she was like home working, which was so annoying. I don't know why it couldn't have been that day. Okay, so what my mum does in the morning is she gets up early and I go in bed with the dogs, because I know it sounds weird, but my dogs sleep in my mum and dad's bed.
Oh no,
they're princesses. I may as well, it's a story. Yeah, so I went to the toilet. I really needed the toilet, and my mum had already left. So my dad was going to a golfing range for like the weekend, and I wasn't going to see him for like 3 days, I think it was. So I went to the toilet and he was still here, but I didn't know, and he was just waiting for his friend to pick him up. So he was waiting downstairs. And I went to the toilet. Okay, so I saw, this might be a lot of information, but I saw like a dark brown kind of colour. But when you first get your period, it's not red necessarily, it's more like dark red or dark brown, which most girls is when you first get it. And I knew what it was. I just couldn't believe it. I was like, I'm not even gonna lie, I was like, I didn't poo that much. I'm not even gonna lie.
Oh, that was actually in the toilet.
I was in the toilet and I was like, this can't be period. I thought it was poo.
It looked like a lot, but it probably wasn't a lot.
It was probably around like that much. Like it was hardly nothing, but in my mind it was like so much. Yeah, right. I think everyone thinks that, even if it's really light. So yeah, and my dad was downstairs. I come out the toilet and I was like, oh my god, what do I do? Like speaking like that. And my dad was downstairs and he was like, Emery, are you talking to yourself? And I was like, yeah, I am. And I was just like, he was like, what do you need? And I was like, oh, nothing, I just talking to myself, I don't know why. And then I went into bed and he went with his friends, because they picked him up luckily at the right time, and so thank you to his friends.
Why did you not want to tell Dad at that point?
I wanted to tell Mum first, and he was leaving anyway. If I was telling him, I'd want to be able to like
actually sit down
have
and
a conversation. I wouldn't just want to be like, I just started my period, like telling him like, and then he's leaving straight away. And him being worried because I'm just on my own, I don't know what to do. But then it was like, I think I got a pad because Mum had already bought me some just in case. But luckily I was wearing a liner anyway for discharge, which was amazing. Yeah. Because I didn't get any on my underwear, which most girls do, and my bed was completely fine. Like nothing like that. It was very light, but to me it looked like a lot of the time. And then after that I changed for a pad, and I think about 2 hours after that I called Mum up because I didn't want to go too early, because she goes... You
texted me, didn't you?
Yeah, because
text me saying I've got something to tell you.
Yeah. So Mum goes like, was it like boot camp?
Yeah.
She goes like work out with her friend like really early in the morning. So I didn't want to tell her because I knew she wouldn't answer the phone because she's like doing her workout. So when I knew she was at work and she was sat down doing her work, I texted her then, which was around 8 o'clock I think. And I was really scared. Whilst in between like 6 and 8, I couldn't get to sleep.
You scared to tell me?
No, I wasn't scared to tell you. I just didn't want to tell you when you were working out.
Oh, right.
I wanted you to be sat down in an office so I can actually have a conversation.
Yeah.
And then I was scared, not to tell you, but I was scared like, because I was like, oh god, it's just happened.
Just because it happened.
Yeah, I was like very...
It's like an overwhelming feeling,
I was like really panicky, and I was like, oh my god. I was slightly excited though. I don't know why. Don't ask me why, because I don't know. So yeah, I texted Mum and she was like...
I called you then, didn't I?
Yeah, after I said I think I've started my period, she called me straight away. And then I told her the deets.
Yeah, told me all.
Everything about it. But in the between 6 and 8, I was just sat down. I couldn't get to sleep. I was just like panicking. I don't even know why. And then
was there any, for people who haven't started, was there anything to panic about?
No.
No.
Literally nothing. Unless you haven't got like a pad or anything, which I'm pretty sure you would.
But then you just use toilet roll, don't you, for a minute?
Oh yeah, tons of people
just that toilet
school.
roll in your pants if you need to, just for, you know, for a bit until you can get something better.
Yeah. But yeah, and in between 6 and 8, like I was saying, I just couldn't get to sleep, and I was watching Mia's life period videos.
Actually,
shout out
she
to
does
you.
Such good videos, doesn't she, Mia's life?
And she also does some with her mum as well.
Yeah, she has got some of her mum, so definitely recommend going and checking out her videos as well.
And they were very helpful as well, and I kept watching all of them because I was just like, oh my god, what do I watch? I decided to watch that. Oh, and when mum got home, I was so excited that she was finally home because it felt like an eternity day. I don't know why, because I just sat there thinking about the whole day.
By the way, she does have her older brother looking after her during the day. She's not on her own.
He's 16, so he's fine to look after me. But he was there. Obviously, I didn't tell my brother because that's real weird.
He did know after.
Oh yeah, because mum was like, no, I'll tell you the story and then I'll tell you why. Okay, so when mum got home, she had this basket. I showed you a picture in my period kit, but just in case you don't know, here's a picture of it. But she come home with a box with like hot chocolates, pads,
bubble bath,
yeah, period tablets, and all of that kind of thing. And then when I was going up the stairs with it, I was like, Josh, I've got hot chocolate and sweets. I don't know why I said that to him. And then mum was like, he was like, oh, why'd you get that? And I don't get anything. And then mum was like, oh, it's girly bits. And I was like,
girly problems or something.
Yeah, you said like girly like problems or bits.
Yeah,
or
but the great,
like
this is a great thing. I'm going to say this in a question later on, but saying you've got girl problems, if you don't want to tell boys what's up, that's the word to use.
Yeah, don't say you're on your period.
They don't question it after that.
Yeah, because they're just like, they're a bit freaked out, if you know what I mean, because they're just like, ooh. Yeah, so just say girly problems or girly things. Yeah, so I told my dad on the phone that evening, because obviously he was away for 3 days at golf. So, oh my god, I've got a little bit as well. So he actually thought when mum texted him, your baby,
no, that's so funny.
right, she put, your baby started her period. So he thought that it was the dog. Not me, his actual baby. The dog. I took offence.
What did he say on the phone?
He was like,
really funny?
He was like, oh, I thought it was Chloe, not you. And I was like, are you joking me? Are you actually joking me? Who's your baby then? Chloe, not me. So it was easy for me because I was at home and I already had all the essentials with me. But if you were in school, I think I'd be a little bit more scared. Not like you need to be, but I think I just would be because I'm not in the comfort of my own home. But yeah, I mean,
I think you're just prepared, isn't it? If you've got your period kit and you're prepared, and go and watch Sam's period kit video if you haven't seen that yet, because that's really helpful.
And also in the Q&A, I'm going to be answering questions about how to tell your mum that you want to take period stuff, because loads of people have been asking that, so that will be coming in a minute. So that was my period story, and it was all good and fine. So let's move on for the awaited Q&A. So, before I started my period, I actually was worrying about this question as well, but now I know what to do. So, all you need to say is, I've got girly problems and I need to go to the toilet. They will understand straight away. They might have a wife, they might have a daughter, and seeing as they've been working at the school for a long time, even if it's a new teacher, they'll know anyway, because I know in sex education, boys learn periods as well.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, so they will know. And it's just of common sense, and they'll let you go no matter what. They can't hold you back. That's just... They
wouldn't do that anyway. You really don't need to worry. Like, 10 out of 10 times, if you said to your dad or brother you had girl problems and you had to do something, they would just let you get on with it, honestly.
And I know that it might be scary as well, telling him that you've got girly problems, but I mean, if you need to go, you need to go.
Yeah,
you know?
that's it. You know, you don't have to say to him you're having a period. He's going to get that just when you say girly problems. So please don't let that worry you. If you need to go to the toilet, you just need to go. Okay, so this question got asked so many times about opening a pad in the toilets. There are quite a few different answers to this, I think. So there's going to be one that you're happy with. I just think, firstly,
you don't need to worry. Everybody that's in that toilet is going to be a girl. They're going to be going through the same things as you. They're going to know what's going on, but they're not going to be paying attention. But I do understand it might be like a little bit embarrassing. But as you get used to using pads, you won't worry so much. But to begin with, maybe you will feel a little bit embarrassed.
Yeah, but there's many different ways if you don't just want to open it. So the first thing that you can do is open it before you go to school. So all you need to do is do that. Even though you might have the back bit, you can rip that off really quickly without making a sound. Like,
yeah, that's that bit's
very quiet. So just do that and then just fold it up and then put it in your period kit if you want to. Yeah. Or the next thing is to flush. So you can flush, rip it open,
yeah, that would definitely
and everything, because obviously no one's gonna hear. And yeah, I think really you shouldn't be embarrassed anyway, because everyone in that toilet is going to have a problem like that at once.
Yeah, and if people are listening, it may be that they haven't started their periods and they're like intrigued, or maybe, you know,
yeah, I think some people, if you hear a pad and you're like haven't got your period yet, you might be a bit like, ooh.
But honestly, I really wouldn't worry, and there are a lot worse noises you could hear in a toilet than opening a pad.
Definitely. So in a way, this is actually kind of good. I mean, you might be a little bit kind of sad that maybe all your friends are talking about it and you're just left out and you don't really know much about it because you haven't started yet. But in a way, it's kind of a good thing, because one, all your friends are gonna like have stuff in their bags and they're gonna know. So if you start and you don't know much about it, they're gonna tell you what you need to do and all of that.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's like reassuring in a way, isn't it, that they'll you know, they'll have experience of it all,
and they'll understand as well.
Yeah, definitely, they'll understand. And please just don't worry about being, even if you're the last person to start your period, because your body you'll have your period when your body is ready, and not before. So please don't worry, it'll come when you're ready.
Yeah.
We're going to tie both of this one in together. So about periods not being regular, when you first start it can take years for them to regulate, and even like up to age 18 you might not have regular periods. You were actually regular to begin with, weren't you, which is quite unusual.
Yeah, so on my second ever period I actually got it at the park with my friend, which I didn't even know until I got home. And then my third ever period, I actually got it the day before the tracker said it was meant to come, which was such a coincidence.
Yeah. So it's and it's all about tracker. It's the health tracker on an iPhone, but you can get all different apps, and it's so good. You literally put in the day that your period starts, and then obviously it'll give you like 28 days for approximately when your next period should be. But I would have thought if your periods are coming maybe like every 20 days, I would imagine then your tracker's going to tell you on the 20th day it's probably due again. So I imagine it works out to your own situation, your own body. But definitely just check them out. If not, honestly, just get a pen and paper and just write down. Just or pop it on a calendar, just so you've got an idea of when the next one might be, just so it doesn't creep up on you. But I'm 37 years old, and last week my period started when I was out working out. Did I even tell you this?
No.
Oh my god. Yeah, I didn't even realise that I was going to come on. So you can be my age and still have accidents, because I ended up leaking in my gym clothes and then had to work out like that. And me and my friend were in absolute hysterics, because how can you get to my age and still not know when your period's going to start?
And also, like Mum said, it's so weird because the first period I was actually prepared because I had a liner on, and the second period I didn't at all, and it went all over my white pants. White.
That was one thing people said on your period kit. People were horrified that you put were they like grey coloured pants into your period kit. So yeah, it might make sense to have like a darker pair. We just had those for the video because they were new and they were cute. Were they?
Yeah, they were new ones, so I was just like chuck them in. And also I recommend using the health app. Tons of people use Clue, but you actually have to pay monthly for that. Okay. And I actually downloaded it thinking that you had to, but you can use it like the first time, and then like second, thirds you have to pay for it. So I recommend health because it's the exact same thing.
And it's free. But they'll be on whatever phone you've got. There should be some sort of app like that anyway.
Yeah, and also on health it's the same as Clue. I'm pretty sure it gives you a notification anyway, like when your symptoms should start starting and all of that.
Yeah, that's good.
So a question question we got asked tons of times was swimming on your period.
So people wanted to know if you could actually wear a sanitary pad when you swim, and the simple answer to that is no.
No. So the sanitary towel is obviously not in you or anywhere, it's just on your pants, so it's obviously there to absorb the blood. So if water just goes on it, it's just gonna expand and get really heavy.
Should we show them?
Yeah.
So this is if you're swimming.
So we've just tucked the wings behind it, by the way.
Does that
Wait,
sit anything up?
Yes. It doesn't look like it, but it is really heavy. Guys, we've just taken out the water and look how thick it is. So imagine a whole pool of water.
And also,
oh, it feels like jelly.
You're going to lose the sticky on the back if you put it in water, so that might end up just floating in the swimming pool.
Yeah, it's actually so cool as well because inside are like little crystals that go to like jelly when like the water or the blood hits it. So
if you're swimming,
the answer is no.
No, you can't use those pads, but yeah, a tampon. But obviously you might not want to wear tampons. I think they were some of the questions. Some people that aren't ready to use tampons, and that's absolutely fine because there's no right or wrong time to use them. But a lot of people would want to use them like later on when they're a bit more experienced, and that's absolutely fine. So we had a little look online, didn't we? And they've actually, there's a company, there might be a few companies around actually, but you can actually get swimming costumes now that have built-in pads. So like with the period pants that you rewash, it's the same concept of that, but it's a swimming costume that you can rewash. So,
and also, I'm just going to say this. Your period does not come out in water.
No, obviously, it might leak if you were like going for a proper swim.
Yeah, but if you're just sat in the bath and no blood comes out.
That was one question of yours, wasn't it, that day that you started your period? Can I have a bath? And I was like, yeah, you'd be absolutely fine to have a bath.
Yeah, but if you're swimming, obviously...
You might end up leaking if you were swimming.
And also, if you don't want to go swimming on your period, just don't go swimming on your period.
Absolutely. Okay, so loads of you girls are scared about asking your mum to buy products for a period kit, and also if you've started your period, you're also scared about how to tell your mum, so we'll talk about a bit about that. This is Emma's period kit here.
I did actually change the bag for this one. This actually come with the bag. I just thought it's a lot nicer.
Yes, that's a really cute little kit to have, and it would be really, really good if you could talk to your mum to be able to get a period kit. I just think it will really prepare you if you've got it in your bag, and you'll just worry a little bit less, and it'd be more reassuring if you could take something like that to school. But I understand it might be a little bit scary, so maybe you could ask your mum to either watch the period kit video or watch this one with you.
Yeah.
So then you can naturally then have a conversation from that.
And also when me and mum were talking about periods, we watched actually the one that Mia's Life did when she talked to her mum, the exact same, but she actually had the conversation, the talk on camera, which I think was really nice. That's what we watched. So if you want to watch that as well, that's a really good one to watch.
Yeah, that's a really good one. So when you started your period, obviously you texted me because I was in work. You would have spoken to me if we were at home. But if you are scared to just say to your mum, I want a period kit, or I've started my period, why not just text her or write it down in a little letter for her?
Yeah.
So then you've kind of like broken the news to her, and then you have a conversation from that, and then you haven't got to do that scary like face to face if you don't want to begin with. But maybe that's an idea.
I think if you had a sister, definitely ask her because she'll be really open to you if she's already started.
Yeah.
Also, if you're friends, I'm pretty sure there'll be at least one friend that will be early, like an early one, because there was a couple girls in my class that like got them really early.
So you could ask, you mean, so you could ask them how they told their mum to give you an idea of how to do it?
To give you a bit of advice. Or you could call them up, text them, or again write a little letter and then give it to her and then talk about it.
Do you know what? It probably won't be as bad as you think it is. You've already built it up in your head. Somebody said on one of your questions or like messages that they started a year ago and they still haven't told their mum. So even if you can't tell your mum, I think you should just tell, even if you told like a sister, aunt, any sort of trusted adult, or even somebody at school, just you should really tell somebody if you can. It would probably make you feel a lot better.
And also I think your mum will like to know that you have that trust with her.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, just try some of those. I'm sure one of them will work out for you.
And also your mum's started before, so she would have gone through the same thing that you were going through.
Yeah.
So is it essential essential to tell your dad. I mean, if your dad's your only parent or only carer, then absolutely yeah, because you need to tell someone. But if you've got a mum or a sister or someone like that, I don't think you have to. I mean, my dad found out anyway, but I didn't really care because obviously he's had to go through with my mum.
Yeah, he buys us tampons and pads from the shop. We text him, can you pick us this up? He's like, oh, not again. He's pretty good with that stuff.
I remember once...
Not everybody would be though, so that's fair enough, isn't it?
I remember once it was like 10 o'clock at night and you asked for like thing.
Oh, and he went up and got me
like
some
to the
tampons.
gas station, remember? Gas station?
Yeah, what? You're American.
Petrol station, sorry.
Yeah, he is pretty good at that, but not all dads will be as comfortable, so that's understandable. So I don't know, it just depends on your situation, but it definitely, you should just let somebody know you're on your, you've got your period. That's
even
all.
A friend. So on tips for staying clean, I definitely recommend using some intimate wipes which are meant for down there. If you saw in my period kit, you know that I use the Natura Care.
They're really good, aren't they, for like cleaning when you're changing your pad, but it doesn't, you're not more dirty because dirty because you've had having a period.
I think tons of people think like you think you are because obviously you just feel a bit yucky, but your whole body's clean. It's just like there, you just feel really dirty. But if you just give it a freshen up every time you change your pad, or maybe if it's really heavy, then it's just, it makes you feel a lot nicer. And just wash every day.
I think that's probably one of the big differences with using tampons and pads, because with a tampon it's inside you and you don't have anything on the outside. So
I'm not even gonna lie, when I was lying down once, it went like to my bum, and it like felt really weird. So like having one of these is really nice, because if you're in school you only get that like weird toilet paper.
Yeah, so it's just nice to freshen up, isn't it?
Yeah. Difficult one because I have a blazer and I also wear trousers, so I have like tons of pockets to put them in, but I think what I would do if I didn't have any pockets, if you're not allowed to take any bags to the toilets, I'm going to demonstrate. Get your pad, and I think if you wear trousers or a skirt, because skirts will have the same, because they won't be falling down now. No. So just pop them like there and pop your t-shirt over it or tuck it in, and you can't hear it because obviously it's not like in between your legs or anywhere. But yeah, I think if you had like a tampon, obviously you could like hold it and you won't really see it.
Yeah, it's only really if it's a pad, isn't it? That's a bit more difficult. But yeah, just do that, I would. Yeah, and pads, daily pads are like smaller than. That was a night time, by the way. They're not massive, are they? And they're thin, so it easily, you could have it discreetly there and it would be fine. Yeah,
and I mean, if anyone just saw it, I don't think they'd tell you off, because
if they saw it, they saw it. It's, you know, it's natural, isn't it?
Yeah. So guys, this is the last question, and it is, how do I feel comfortable making these videos? And I mean, I don't really care, to be honest. I'm not even gonna lie, because every single girl in my class, I'm pretty sure, knows about a period. I mean, by the time you either get to year 7 or year 8, you'll all know about it. Like, it's just something you learn in like year 6 or year 7.
I just think, honestly, the amount of messages you've had, how lovely have they been?
Yeah, like no one has said anything nasty about it.
Not one person. It's all, thank you so much for showing me this. So I think it's brilliant, and I really do. I'm really proud of you, like being able to make the videos, because even if you help, well, you already have, because you've had the messages to tell you have, but even if you only help 10 people feel more confident about starting secondary school, being able to take a period kit, I honestly think that is fantastic. So well done. If there is any negative, then the positive that you've brought to people from this has got to outweigh that, really, hasn't it? Yeah. And by the way, I didn't even mention to Emma about making this video, because I do come up with a lot of the concepts, don't I, for videos.
I come to her.
We do it together, but I didn't want to mention making a period video, because I do understand that it could be an uncomfortable subject for a lot of people. But Emma actually came to me 2 weeks ago and said, I really want to make a period kit video.
So thank you for all of your support on these videos. I mean, I wouldn't be doing them without you guys, and I'm just so happy that all you guys have been giving me so much support. I love it. And thank you guys for my subscribers as well, because I've got like 1,000 subscribers in 1 week, and as you guys know, like, I have been on the same number, I think, for like a couple years. And
it's been a little bit of a struggle, isn't it, to get moving, but that's because your content changed so much, isn't it?
I don't really like mind, but I love you guys so much.
It's more about
making content for people that they really want to watch
Yeah.
as well, isn't it? And you know, the people who have maybe subscribed in the last week are really enjoying the content that you're loving making now, and that's really important,
I
isn't
think
it?
that's good, that I love the content that I'm filming. If I didn't like it, then I wouldn't do it. I mean, like slime, obviously I stopped doing that because I didn't like it anymore. So
You still get quite a few messages actually saying, oh, can you just make a slime video? But
no,
we did joke
if I don't
about
wanna
it.
do it.
We did joke and say maybe we'll make one, but we were like, no, because what happens if it does really well? You end up having to make slime every week again. That's not happening.
Not happening,
never.
and I don't want to do that again because I don't want to get people excited to see more slime videos when it's not going to happen.
This is the content you're making, not just periods.
Yeah.
There won't be another period video for a while.
For a while, maybe.
But like just more grown-up content.
My new room as well, I think that has a lot to do with it, because now I can do like morning routines and nighttime routines and all of that things for you guys that I would love to film, which I'm definitely going to film, so make sure you stay tuned.
Right, I think if you've got this far,
Good
deserve a
luck.
medal. It's
Yeah, I
probably
think
like
you
40
actually
minutes
deserve a
long,
gold
isn't it?
medal, because I'm boiling because we're sat in front of a ring light. It is pitch black outside. What time is it, Mother?
It's 9:30 and your dad needs a shower, so we need to go now.
We've literally been filming for about 4 hours.
No, it isn't
I'm
that
joking.
long.
So also, thank you so much for my mum for being on this video with me, and also for helping me out with this video, obviously, because I couldn't do this on my own, because I'd forget a lot of things.
Oh, you're welcome, Anne.
And thank you for putting a lot of research into this.
That's all right.
By the way, she did research a couple of things just to make sure it was right for you guys. And
Well, yeah, I
we
don't
were
want to
telling
tell you
guys
facts
the right
that
thing.
are wrong, so we had to get it right, didn't we? Please, like I said before, if you have got any any problems or any issues you're really worried about, please just speak to a parent or a carer, because we're not experts. So although you might message after this to ask more stuff, and that's absolutely fine, but if it's anything urgent, please just make sure you speak to someone.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I love you all, and I'll see you all soon. Bye guys.
Bye guys.